Hi, Jim. My accountant is telling me that I should start thinking into a captive insurance plan due to the very high tax rate that we're paying and hopefully a very successful year. What are your thoughts about captive insurance? And is this something you think we should pursue? Thanks so much for everything you do.
Okay, I'm going to define captive insurance plans and let Jim take this away then. A captive insurance plan is fully owned and controlled by its insureds. So it's the type of self-insurance. So basically, instead of paying a commercial insurer's money, the owner actually invests their own capital and resources and assumes a portion of the risk for the portfolio. Okay, so Jim, is this something he should do or not?
This is one of those things where the devil's in the details, right? Captive insurance plans can work really well for the right people. And sometimes they only insure some of the risk and they still pay an insurance company to take on the majority of the risk. Sometimes you're banded together with enough other docs that you're essentially self-insuring. For example, my physician group now is, 300 or 400 docs or something. And at that sort of size, you start thinking about, well, what if we just self-insured? Everyone put their money, instead of us paying an insurance company and letting them take their cut for their expenses and their profits. What if we just took all of our premiums, put them into a pot, used them to pay out whatever claims came in, and kept the difference? And you're still pooling risk with other people, but you start going, well, what happens if we cut the insurance company out? And there's a few tax benefits to it as well. So this does make sense for a lot of people. This isn't like, whole life insurance where it makes sense for so few people that there should be a general warning against it. That general warning doesn't exist for captive insurance. It's a little bit more like, a real estate syndication. You've got to look at it. You've got to do the due diligence. It's going to be right for some people. It's not going to be right for other people. Your particular one that you're looking at may or may not be a good deal. But for the right person, these things work out really well, especially if you end up not having very many claims, because you keep the difference. And that's pretty beneficial. So
Sure.
I would definitely look at it. If your accountant thinks it's a good idea, get some quotes, get some, more details on it. And then make a decision. Once you have all the information, you need to make the decision. But I wouldn't necessarily just shy away from it like it's always a bad deal. This isn't whole life insurance. This isn't a reverse mortgage where, they're just not right for almost anybody. It does work out for some docs, so it's worth looking at.
If you want your questions answered by the White Coat Investor, record your question at whitecoatinvestor.com/YQA or click the link in the description.
The hosts of the White Coat Investor podcast are not licensed accountants, attorneys, or financial advisors. This podcast is free entertainment and information only. It should not be considered professional or personalized financial advice. You should consult the appropriate professional for specific advice relating to your situation.